Hello, everyone. Hi. Hello. My name is Nizam.
And I'm Niza.
I hope you guys can hear us loud and clear. Today we do with the headphones, so a bit more natural. If not a bit, like what F1
But we are
rally.
on Mount Everest, Nizam.
Oh
So
yes.
we can afford
Ah.
to wear mufflers.
Oh
It's
yeah. True. True. That's why
cold.
I'm in a long sleeve, and I'm in a, what you call that, sweater, because it's
Uh,
very cold.
but you don't have the gear, the headgear
Yeah.
and all.
Right. Right. So, like I said, you see your top left right hand corner. The best view comes
Mm.
after the hardest climb. Wow, today we are very, very excited. We can't wait for this episode. In fact,
Yeah.
we, of course, special tribute to women, especially to my wife also, who's a woman. Of course, she's a woman. A
Love
woman.
it.
So
Mm.
it's today a special episode, like I said, dedicated to women. Of
Yes.
course, I think if you heard from social media too many negative things about women for the past weeks,
Mm-hmm.
so today we felt that it's important to celebrate women. Am I right,
Yes.
Niza?
Yeah, and give the women a platform to share their experiences and maybe what are their challenges out there despite having to achieve their dreams, right? So we like to
Correct.
hear from other women out there.
Yeah. So before that, if you just join us, please like and share this live episode with all your friends and family out there because I tell you, it's going to be very interesting. It's not your typical talk show. We just talk about anything under the sun, but this is very specific to women and women who has achieved
Mhm.
more than a lot of men in the world. I believe. I feel very small, but end of the day, it's important to celebrate. Like I say, celebrate the achievement of women. So today, later on, in the next 5-10 minutes, we'll bring on our special guest.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen our video, her video, asking people to come and join us. Okay, right. Today, what we're gonna talk about actually, Niza? Before that, let me switch. Right.
Okay. Mm.
Interesting
Yeah,
topic, right?
yeah. Okay, because Nizam, we always hear about women entrepreneurs, right? Basically, if you look at most of the women entrepreneurs, success is only heard when they achieve great, or many milestones.
Or
Like
they become
maybe,
CEO or whatever
yeah,
and
they
all that.
become CEO, or they make a name for Singapore in big corporations or something like that.
Yep.
So we only hear those success stories only when they become maybe the leader of the company or something like that,
Yeah.
right? But
Or the leader of the nation like our president.
oh
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Madam Halimah Yacob, maybe she's listening to us right
Yes.
now.
We like to invite you, Madam Halimah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is something that women do not have enough platform
True.
for sharing, especially in Singapore. But I guess you probably hear a lot of talk shows, women talk shows in the US and all that. But I think we don't have much here in Singapore, right,
Yeah,
Nizam?
correct.
So sometimes for us women, when we face some challenges, we do not know where to seek help,
Yeah,
or
correct.
maybe
Yeah,
where who can hear them out.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think more importantly today, next to Nizam always brings special guests. Today,
Mm-hmm.
topic of discussion, female,
Yes.
single,
Yeah.
below 35,
Wow.
should you buy your own property? This is a multi-million dollar question, in fact.
Mm.
I'm sure there's a lot of a notion out there that, oh, I can only buy a property after 35 or HDB flat for that matter
Yes.
when I reach 35. So, right, there's nothing wrong with that. But today, we're going to share with you from a perspective of a female, single, below
35.
35, how she overcome a lot of obstacles. First, to conquer the world's highest summit, at the same time embarking on her first property investment. A lot of first here, so it's important that you stay tuned, so that you are able to see the perspective of the person herself, right? So before that, if you have any questions or any comments, or you want to be, you want to later on you want to call me, or we try to bring you into the show, please do so. Say hi to us in Facebook and all that. Even in YouTube, we are actually wow. Actually, I'm very greedy. You know,
Why?
I'm live
Greedy,
in
ah?
3 platform. Imagine
Oh, okay.
this is like
Uh-huh.
overkill But anyway,
Mm.
YouTube, my own profile, and our Facebook page. Wow, amazing.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
why
So
maybe one
do
day I will show
subscribe
you
to,
guys
yeah.
our my setup here. No,
No lah. I think.
minus the mountain. Yeah, but we are passionate about this. I think we
Yes.
like to talk instead
Yeah.
of It's easier to have this platform to reach out to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So,
But maybe Nizam,
yeah,
because you mentioned here below 35, why
correct.
this magic number 35? I
Because
mean,
I tell you, from the
young.
longest time, our parents, grandparents, even HDB has stated in their policy that if you're single, below 35, you cannot buy a HDB flat on your own.
Yeah,
So
just
it becomes like an ingrained thing
yeah.
that I must be 35 and above to have my own property, which is
Yeah,
a
it become
HDB.
like a mental block for most people out there that we have seen and talked to,
Yeah,
like because they thought they shouldn't do anything until they reach 35, right?
correct.
So here we actually going to talk to a woman who made it and basically do not want to wait till 35 to achieve her dreams, right?
Yeah, but because
Uh,
lucky they meet Nizam.
yes.
In fact, I tell you, if now saya koyok a bit, if really I mean, if she didn't have that courage in the first place, I think it's still status quo, if I may say so.
Well, let
Yeah,
her share that
yeah,
story,
yeah, yeah,
Nizam,
yeah.
because we do not want to spoil,
Correct,
the
correct.
teaser here. Because let her share
Okay.
from her perspective. But
To,
before that, we are quite curious on how she made it to Mount Everest. I
yeah,
envy
okay. Yeah,
her.
those who have questions later on, please put in the comment. I will bring
Yeah.
up the question up on the screen so that she can answer you, okay? So if you are watching us, like and share with all your friends and family out there because it's going to be another interesting half an hour, 45 minutes max. So to hear from the woman herself on how she overcome obstacle, how she challenged herself, and after disappointment after disappointment, and made it to the summit of Mount Everest in 2017.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, she did try again,
Okay,
before that.
Niza,
Okay, maybe I should invite her in
yeah, is she
now.
ready or not? I'm also very excited.
Very
It's very cold
excited.
here.
Actually, we are quite fortunate to meet up with her,
Correct.
because we have no idea she actually climbed the Everest
Yeah, I mean
until towards the
it's
end.
a very
Yeah.
humble lady. And she won a lot of accolades actually,
Mm.
which I think is really a testament of her grit and grit.
Determination and
Right.
you know,
Is she in? Not yet. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. She's
Okay,
joining us.
she's
Hold
joining
on,
us.
let me bring her in.
Before that, you wanna show? I can get her in.
Yeah.
Maybe you wanna.
Okay. Before that, I see this technician damn slow. It's me actually.
Okay,
Uh,
just maybe to help most of you out there who do not know who we are inviting, maybe Nizam will show uh, a snapshot of one of
okay.
the article that talks about her. Who
Okay. I
is
just gonna.
she? Yes, that's her. Yusrina stands tall on Everest. That's our Singapore's first Muslim Malay women, right, Nizam?
Amazing, amazing,
That
amazing.
actually reached the summit of Mount Everest. It's the
Correct.
world highest mountain, right? I would
Wow.
say
You know. You know.
8,848 meters tall. Who would have
Wow.
imagined?
How many again?
Huh? What?
4,000?
What was it?
What are you saying? The
Eight thousand eight
8,000.
hundred and
Oh my God.
forty-eight meters
Okay.
tall mountain.
Okay. I'm
100
sure
meter also, I don't know whether I can climb or not. Now
you,
panting already.
you second floor stairs also cannot
Yeah.
climb. I tell you what. Okay. Don't talk about us now.
Okay.
Today is not about
Mm.
us. It's about our guest.
Yep.
Let me bring her in. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Come closer.
Yeah.
Hello,
Can you hear?
can
Can
you
you hear
hear me?
me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Important. We want to
Amazing.
hear you.
Okay, loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I hope everybody out there can hear us loud and clear.
Yes.
So this is Yusrina
Ah.
binti Yaakob. Correct? Am I right?
Nur Yusrina binti Yaakob.
Yeah. Let me bring my
Yusrina
mic.
je lah, Yusrina.
Yusrina. Okay, we
Yusrina.
call you Yusrina.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. First of all, we were very happy. We congratulate you, even though you actually achieved it in 2017, right?
70.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Wow.
even if it's not for 2017, 2015 also, I salute you lah. You are up there already.
Yeah.
We have not even climbed to the
Amazing,
foot of the mountain
amazing. This is something amazing. Right.
Mm.
Okay. Maybe for a start. Okay. Today's show is about you. So
Yes.
it's imperative that you share what are the challenges, what are the disappointment, what are the achievement prior to you reaching the summit or whatever kind of preparation you did lah. All right. So the show is
Okay, 1 hour
yours.
not enough eh.
Not
What?
enough. Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Share,
why.
yeah,
Actually, part two
share
lah. But
everything.
never
Okay.
mind. We
Never
go
mind.
for.
Okay.
Okay,
So
maybe first of all, Yusrina, you want to share to our audience, right? What is the first? How do you first fell in love with mountaineering, or maybe what was your thoughts when you decided that, hey, I want to climb mountains? You know.
Okay lah. Story begins when I was in NUS.
Oh, okay.
So I joined the NUS Mountaineering Club. So
Wow.
okay.
that's where I got introduced to high altitude mountaineering. But before that, I've always been very outdoorish lah.
Mm.
I've always been trekking, involved in all these outdoor activities. But it's when I joined the mountaineering club, that's when I got introduced to Snow Peak Mountains and the idea of mountaineering. What exactly is mountaineering? So in 2006, I went to India.
2006.
Yeah, 2006. I went to India for the first time to climb a mountain.
Wow.
That's when I really fell in love with the mountains. The being in a mountainous area is something not a lot of Singaporeans do unless you go for holidays lah, right? Yeah. Then but then climbing a mountain is not what a lot of Singaporeans would experience,
So
and
your
that
first
experience,
mountain was
yeah,
in India.
in
The first.
India,
Okay.
Wow.
yeah,
What
in
was that
India.
mountain called? I mean, we are not good at
I
mountains, so I mean, you tell us.
For the
Yeah,
benefit of people out
Uh,
there.
it's called Shitida. Yeah,
Shitida.
Cheated.
Shitida.
Which part
Yeah.
of India is that?
Mm, Himachal Pradesh. If you know,
Okay, northern lah,
Wow.
I would
it's
say, right? In the
in
north.
the Indian Himalayan region lah.
Oh.
Okay,
Mm,
I only
okay.
know masala
yeah,
thosai and all that only.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. I mean,
food
okay,
only.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Mm.
So, what was the first, or which year was that you reached the a foot of a mountain that is not? I mean, that was the first time you step on a mountain. Which year was that?
The Snow Peak Mountain, that
Ah,
was 2006 lah.
2006.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
So,
my
what
first
was the
mountain
experience like?
was,
Like, what that time when you get there,
I mean,
yeah. So
Ah,
more importantly, was it did you prepare or just go?
ah.
of course we prepared. Okay. Yeah, so in actually the NUS mountaineering team was where we it's not like a CCA where you join and somebody organize and you go, you
Uh-huh.
follow a trip. It's actually a CCA that teaches us to do everything by ourselves. So it's where we learned about the technique of climbing. That's one, the technical part of mountaineering. But we also learn the soft skills, which is getting sponsorship, writing proposals for sponsorship, going through the whole process of calling in, meeting. As a student, we did all that also. So that's where I learned some of those skills lah, to organize, organize an expedition. Yeah, and we had to do all that just so that the whole team can go for the expedition in India in 2006.
So
Yeah,
it's a lot of
and
self-discipline, self-sufficient, everything self
yes, a
kind of.
lot,
So usually in the team, how many?
innovation on our part,
Hmm.
and all that too. Yeah, we need to think out of the box to how to get money, how to get enough funding for us to achieve what is it that we want to do lah, which is to go climb the mountain.
So
Because mountaineering is not cheap.
for every trip,
Mm.
that's not cheap, right? So for every trip plan, how long it takes to from the start of the planning to the actual
So
I
trip?
you set the
it
foot the
Yeah,
mountain. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
it depends lah. It depends on how fast you can get funding from sponsors, right?
Oh,
If we don't get funding, we have to keep on going for
postpone.
it lah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
either we postpone or yeah.
Typical for you, example for one person to climb, what's the typical ballpark figure? If you may share. Uh,
Okay, depends on what's the mountain you want to climb.
okay.
Everest, of course, very different from
Okay.
just
Yeah.
a mountain in India. So I actually, back then in 2006, it was a small amount, which is like 3,000, $4,000 in total. But as a student, for me, where I come from very mid, you know, financial status as my family lah, you know. We are not that well off, or you know, yeah. So 4,000 4,000 is a lot of money for me.
Per
Yeah.
person, I would
So
say, right?
to
This cost per person
yeah,
for
this is per
yourself. Yeah.
person lah. But this doesn't include the gears that we have to buy or rent.
Oh,
Yeah.
Everest is a totally different thing. That is like times 10.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
okay.
you
the
need more
times
years for
10.
that.
So talking about Everest, when was the first initiation, or the idea that came about? Yeah. After, did you climb? Did you have to climb a few mountains first before you can climb Everest? Something like that. Is that a rite of
Uh,
passage kind of thing?
uh, yes and no. Some people really, I took that route lah. Of course, I climb for every year after the 2006 climb. I try to go on a mountain climb lah. But it was Everest came around in 2010 for me.
Okay.
So that's a good about 4 years of experience in climbing mountains. Then um, I had some friends who actually we got together and thought about climbing Everest together. Uh, so uh, yeah. So actually, what's your question again?
So, like I said, like I said, it's a rite of passage. You climb this
Yeah,
mountain,
yeah.
the next mountain before you climb
Mm.
Everest, or how
Okay,
does it?
so for Everest, for me and my team, we actually planned out such that we progressively increase in height. So we climbed Kinabalu first.
Yeah.
Then we went to India. I went to India again, and for a lot of them, it's their first time. Went to India, went to China, and then we went to Nepal. So these are trainings lah. These are part of training because we come from Singapore. We don't have mountains to climb over the weekend. To just practice.
Yes.
So every year we have to take these trainings to a next level. We need to be in a higher altitude to train our body, see whether our body can take it or not when we are at high altitude. So which we can't get here in Singapore. So it is in a way like a rite of passage, but it's actually an essential thing that has to happen in order to garner more experience before you actually go for the big mountains, which is dangerous if we don't have that kind of experience.
I
Yeah.
see,
So
I
from
see.
2010, you started Everest. So every year you go there, until 2015 you tried, or it was like every 2 years or something like that.
The plan was to climb every year until to 2015. But we met with a lot of difficulties that in 2013 we had no money to go for our next big climb. So we're supposed to climb a 7,000-meter mountain, but we didn't have any funding, no sponsors, so we had to cancel for that year. And for that year in 2013, we worked on getting sponsors with Everest in mind lah. Yeah. So 2014 we went to our first 8,000-meter mountain, which is like a rehearsal to Everest.
Yeah.
Wow.
And 2015 was our target to climb Everest.
So what was the 8,000-meter mountain next to
It's
Everest?
called yeah, it's called Choyu. It's on the border of Tibet and Nepal.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
still
so
in
it's
the
the
Himalayas kind lah, right? In the
yes,
series
still
lah.
still yes.
Okay, okay. So
Mm.
okay, what I heard that 2015 was supposed to be a challenge for you because you want to give Singapore the best birthday gift, right?
Yes.
On
Yeah.
National Day,
So
right?
that
I
Oh,
heard that.
that was the idea lah.
SG50.
SG50, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
SG50.
Yeah.
The
So maybe
climb
let us
was
know.
supposed the climb was supposed to commemorate SG50.
Yes.
So in 2010 we already thought about it to so 5 years on, let's train for 5 years, and so that in 2015 we can climb Everest for SG50. Yeah. So maybe we were one of the first few to think about SG50 before it even came out. Yeah. Don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure there is a
But
lot of challenges,
yeah,
right,
but I
Nizam?
heard there was some major issue when it comes
Mm.
to that so-called wanting to grant Singapore the best gift, top of the world kind of
Yeah.
gift. So maybe share with us what happened.
Okay lah. So it didn't happen because we met with a natural disaster,
Okay.
which I'm sure people will know lah. The Nepal earthquake that happened in 2015. We were affected by that. The earthquake actually triggered a kind of a deadly avalanche at Everest. So there were a lot of death and damage at Everest, and we were there at base camp, and a lot of destruction lah. So, but Alhamdulillah, we were spared. You know, we still we were able to come back alive. Although so many people died that day. So yeah, didn't get to meet our goal, but we came back well and healthy. That's more important. Yeah.
So if I may say, it was like a near-death kind of experience.
Yeah,
You
you can
really
say that.
experienced the earthquake and avalanche,
Yes. Yeah.
avalanche,
Yeah, avalanche.
and
Yeah.
the tremors and whatever you call it. Wow.
Mm.
So what was the feeling at that point in time?
Uh,
Was there any
Confusion. Yeah.
was there any sign that was there like a warning that earthquake gonna happen and all that?
Oh, no,
No,
definitely not.
really.
So yeah, it was no warning. It's just initial thing that happened was it was it was just another day lah of bad weather. Usually at base camp it's all bad weather. We wait it through. So it's just another day of rest. Then all of a sudden the ground started to shake, and we kind of like ask each other like what happened, because none of us have ever experienced such things. Like what's happening? You know, it's very confusing. That moment where the ground is shaking, it is like confusing lah, because it's not supposed to move. All these rocks are moving. But then we realized just a few minutes later, like less than 5 minutes, that something bad is happening. Something really horrible is happening around us. So because Everest is like a how to say Everest is surrounded by the mountains. I mean, Everest base camp is surrounded by all the tall mountains around it. So we can hear a lot of things happening, and we didn't know that the avalanche is happening because of the bad weather. It's like in a whiteout, like you don't see anything. You don't see the mountains around us because of the fog. You know, if you can imagine a fog, but it's not fog, like, it's just a whiteout. And then all of a sudden like this thunderous sound is happening all around us, where we don't know where it's coming from. Then um, then yeah, in within seconds you can see like rolling snow coming towards us. Yeah, we didn't know it was an avalanche lah, but
So what do
I
you guys
bet
do at
the
the
guides know.
moment? Is it in the daytime or what time?
It's in the daytime. It's like during our lunchtime. So we did what anyone would do lah, I think, which is to seek shelter. So we straightway ran into our dining tent. So a few of us went to the dining tent, and we let the avalanche pass us lah. So in the tent shaking, a lot of noise and all that. Yeah. So after everything calmed down, then we left the tent. And then we check the surroundings lah. In my campsite, because Everest Base Camp is actually in Everest season, it's like a village, like like thousands, about 1,000 people or more will be there during the Everest season. So my own campsite, we only have maybe close to 30 people, including our Sherpas, our guides, our porters. So Alhamdulillah, nobody got injured. Yeah, but it was later when everything calmed down that we can hear the guides are starting to call each other from another campsite, another company. That's when we started to realize that this is something really big lah. Something bad has really happened. Then one after another, like you get calls, or rather our guides get calls from other people saying that, oh, so and so has died. So, like this other campsite has just been flattened, like so then we realized, we found out that about 100 meters away from our campsite, someone was so badly injured, the person passed on, that died from the whole
If I may
avalanche.
ask, I mean, I read or I saw somewhere that if someone dies on Everest, the body is just going to be there, is it?
Not in this case because it's a disaster like that, right? So those at base camp were evacuated out, were taken, yeah,
So were you
helicopter
guys
lah.
evacuated by the helicopter or whatever?
I know, yeah, I don't, how to say, there were hundreds of people who's injured. So injured people got priority over evacuation. So my team were all okay. We also had supplies and all that. So we stayed on for about a week before we got evacuated.
A week.
Oh.
Yeah, a week because really there's so many people who's injured. So these people have to go out first, and the weather didn't help. So in the mountains, the helicopters cannot fly when
Yeah.
weather is bad.
So
So
that week, what was the thing that go through your mind? You
Yeah.
know?
Well, what's the activity that
there
week?
a lot of reflection.
Uh,
Yeah, a lot of reflection. We tried to help. We walk around the base camp also. We tried to help others, but uh, it affected me quite a lot because I see dead bodies around. I see because they took the dead bodies. They will like arrange them, put them together.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and I see people who are so shaken by the incident. Like they have their own teammates there with them, who's the own teammate is already packed because died, so waiting to be evacuated. And a lot of discussion because we had to answer to our sponsor. So we had to call back Singapore. We had to uh, do a lot of communication. Even some press tried to call us and talk to us.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on from the not that thing lah. I believe it's quite a experience, a
Mm-mm.
traumatic, if I may say so, at
Yeah.
time. But
Mm.
moving forward, what in the kind of experience that you had, right? What made you what made you more determined to conquer the highest mountain in the world, the next round? What actually really pushes? I mean, family probably might say, "Hey, please don't," kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you convince people, or how do you convince yourself to actually go up again?
To be honest, when I came home from that whole incident, I didn't think about climbing it again. Yeah, because it took us 5 years to
Yeah.
prepare, get money, fundings, and all that. Then my thoughts were always on the side of like, okay lah, maybe that's it. Usually people get one chance and one chance, that's it. So I kind of like redor, accept
Mm.
it lah.
Yeah.
This is it. My time is over. Yeah. So but when I came home, surprisingly, my parents, maybe they know they understand their daughter uh, without me saying anything, asking anything. Like I think it was like over dinner. They just passed the comment and said that if you want to try again, we allow. I didn't even ask anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talking
So
talking about that, Yusrina, the
uh,
first time when you, how do you tell your parents like I'm planning to climb Everest? I mean,
uh,
I'm talking about the
uh,
first time.
I just say like that.
Then they like stunned or
No,
they like
I think because from uni you already are active and all
uh,
that. Probably they are
yes,
already they also read
they
out
know.
already.
Yeah, my daughter is like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
on the first day when you pack your bags to leave for Nepal, right? I'm sure your parents may have like, okay, my daughter is going for Everest. So what would they say to you, or you know, what kind of motivation, or what things do you get from the people around you, like?
I definitely get a lot of well wishes, and I know I have a group of people who, friends lah, who
Mm.
who are very supportive. Parents wise, we are like the non-verbal kind of
Support.
relationship.
Oh.
So they do ask me about how is it going to be like,
Mhm.
what am I gonna eat, what did I
Mm.
prepare, but
Yeah.
they don't ask much lah. So but I know I'm always in their prayers. Yeah, always. So and they know me. I've been very active in the outdoor sports since young, since much younger. So it's like, yeah, like a rite of passage for them also. Like, okay, my daughter will do
Right.
something like
Okay.
this.
So when the after the episode 2017, so when you touch down from the touchdown at the airport at Nepal for your second time, second attempt to climb Mount Everest, what was the feeling and how did you go through with us the journey until the summit?
Oh, okay. Definitely. Like a, how to say, I was relieved lah that this is how it has turned out. Because firstly, I never thought I would be back, and then there I was like trying to climb Everest again. So I actually was pretty calm, and just went through the whole process again, without much expectations. Because after going through something like that, even though you prepared something so well, things can just happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just went through the whole process as we have planned. Um, but I do, as I was coming closer to Everest, I mean, during the trek, I started to feel this worry. I started to feel macam like flashbacks. So it took some time for me to get over that feeling, because at Everest, right, every day at Everest base camp, every day there will be avalanches, but
Yeah.
small ones. Yeah, but even though they are small ones, they are very loud. So it becomes I was very sensitive to it. So I get anxiety. I get really anxious when I was there at Everest Base Camp. When I first reached Everest Base Camp, so all the calmness that I had when I first started the trek, like was gone lah. So I actually wondered, like, is this the right thing to do? Like, am I okay to go through this? But of course, the bigger picture was still there. That I for the second time I climbed Everest, it was for a different purpose. It wasn't for SG50 where people were watching and following our progress and all that. Uh, it was a lot of uh, I mean, I was motivated by the fact that, uh, I failed once before, and if I were to succeed in this second attempt, it could be a source of motivation for so many others. Yeah, so that motivation to inspire others was something that really pushed through, that allowed me to push through whatever I was facing the whole journey. Yeah, so eventually, within 2-3 weeks, I felt better at Everest Base Camp, and then I started to enjoy myself again. That was an indication that I'm okay. So yeah, so
So if I may say
everything just
so,
went
with
as planned lah.
without any expectation, I think our mind is more clear about our direction and our objective. I believe
You can
that.
say that.
So how
Yeah.
long did you take to climb from base camp to the summit?
Okay, climbing Everest, we go on rotations. Meaning, like first rotation, we climb from base camp to camp 1 or sometimes camp 2. Then we go back to base camp. We rest a few days, then we go back again higher to camp 3, then we go back down. This is to acclimatize, get our body acclimatized to the low pressure, higher up, to the long hours of walking. Yeah, so then we wait for this thing called the summit window, where the weather is the best throughout the whole year to climb Everest safely. So once we find we are at the summit window, we will go for a summit push. So summit push, we go from base camp to camp 1 and then camp 2 in, if possible, within a day. So that's what I did. So within a day, I climbed from base camp to camp 2, and then sleep one night, then climb from camp 2 to camp 3, sleep like one night in Camp 3 and push on to Camp 4. Then Camp 4 it was just like a 3-4 hour rest, no
I think
sleep.
what's the distance between each camp?
What's the distance?
Yeah,
We go by hour.
Oh, by hour. Okay.
Yeah, for me, I don't look at distance because
Okay.
that we have a target for how long we can walk on because we carry the oxygen tank, right? Especially from Camp 3 to Camp 4, I almost finished the tank before reaching Camp 4. So that was quite scary because too long you just get too tired and then it will affect your next phase. So I remember it was like a uh 36 hours or more. I forget. From Camp 3 to, okay, I think I count wrongly. But anyway, I climbed like for 9 hours from Camp 3 to Camp 4. Yeah. And then Camp 4, we rested for about 3 to 4 hours only. And we went on to the summit. So I reached summit from Camp 4 for after climbing about 14 hours.
Wow, from
Wow.
Camp 4 to Summit.
Yeah, from Camp 4 to summit. Then came back down in about 8 hours, something like that. 6 to 8 hours.
So
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a
the
long day.
Amazing,
what time
amazing,
did you
amazing.
leave Camp 4?
About 9 p.m.
Oh, okay. So you reach
Oh,
Summit.
so I reached summit about 9:30. So that will be 12 hours.
Oh,
12 and yeah.
So from Camp 4 to Summit, basically, you won't eat, right? Like you won't eat
Yes.
and all that, right? I mean, you
Uh,
probably have water. I
I
mean, I don't know.
basically climbed without eating or drinking for about 10 hours. So when I reached this part of the mountain called the South Summit, from the South Summit, you can see Everest Summit. Lah. Then I took a sip and a bite of energy bar. That's what I remember. Then another 1.5 hours to the summit.
So
Then
from South Summit to the real summit, about 1.5 hours. That
not
is like
submit lah,
summit,
summit.
yeah, summit. So like you like give yourself a push. Like I don't care. I'm just
yeah,
gonna reach there.
Amazing,
And
amazing,
then once
amazing.
you
yeah.
reach there, what is that feeling, and
Yeah.
how long actually you can stay in the summit?
The feeling is you want to know the feeling, you must go up and find that
Yeah, of
experience lah.
course. Of course,
No lah,
Can I
but
can you show
no,
the
but
background?
the feeling is of course like really humbling lah,
yeah.
and a gratitude lah, like immense gratitude towards everything that has ever happened.
Yes.
All the fundings and the heart pain and the sweat, tears, blood, all that that resulted me to be there at that point of time. Yeah, so everything lah. So I actually spent about half an hour on the summit because I was slow. Because I was one of the slower ones for the day. So I was a little bit behind than the bulk of the people.
I see.
So I got a lot of time. Nobody behind me queuing up for the summit.
Oh.
So if you are in
okay.
front, you have everyone else waiting, right? Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So
Amazing,
most
amazing.
people maybe spend about 10 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes, but I spend half an hour on the summit.
So I wonder, because when you're at the peak, right? Do you know what to do? I mean, if I don't know what to do, like I still like, okay, is this real?
Okay,
Is this the right
actually,
mountain?
people do plan for what they do at the summit. People do plan what they do at the summit because, like I said, most people only have a very short time.
Yeah.
So basically, you need to take out your camera, take out your sponsor's banner or T-shirt or whatever you want to take photo of because you're not gonna go there again, right? So,
What if you
so I
forget to
did
put your
that.
Spencer's banner? Then
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I did all that within the first 10 minutes, and
all
then
on your own.
with my guide.
Okay.
Yeah, and I basically just sat down, looking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, macam it's like you sit down on a park, on a bench, looking around, people watch.
But
But
in
no,
a towerless mountain, different.
yeah, something like that.
And give you the humbling feeling is God is great lah, huh? Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
Alhamdulillah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, good, good. Wow, amazing sharing.
Well, I guess there's a lot of challenges to tell,
Yeah.
but I mean, we cannot complete all that in
Actually, I
this
cannot
session.
imagine myself, even climbing Bukit Timah. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, that's me
No,
lah.
but even
But
like Cam 1, Cam 2, Cam 4
okay,
in that kind of
now,
cold
now
weather.
more
Yeah.
importantly, I see a few points that probably has given you that courage,
Mm.
towards gear up towards what we're going to talk about your first investment property,
Yes.
Mm.
at like I said, female, single, below 35. The stigma, or not the stigma, the stereotype is, oh, you can only buy or either get married or when you reach 35 and above, right? So I mean, the way I analyze the whole situation is that, how determined you are. I mean, we saw it for ourselves, how determined you are after understanding the processes, the risk, the benefit, the potential gain, whatever you call it, buying a new launch property. And and once, the way we see, once you are determined, once you set your mind, you know the pros and cons, you just, I mean, you make that commitment. So similarly,
Mm.
I can see how you did for
For your
Everest.
first,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
applying it to the first
yeah.
property investment, which,
Actually, just sorry, just
mm,
to share, you talk about, when you started from base camp to camp one, then go back, then there's a progression. It's similar to property, right? Asset progression, we call it,
yeah,
because you cannot just jump from base camp to the summit,
Yeah,
yeah,
so there's
exactly. Yes.
progression. So
Yeah.
correct. I just wanna,
mm,
just
yeah.
to bring it together lah, so that our audience understand from that
Okay,
Mm.
perspective.
maybe Nizam, you
Yep.
want to introduce a bit. Okay, because Yusrina, she's below 35, right? That time, at that moment, you,
Mm.
I think 30, early 30s, 32, is it? When
Can
you first
When
actually
you can reveal the age,
purchase,
meh? Uh,
because below 35 mah.
oh, okay. Below
Okay, below
35.
35 lah.
Uh,
Okay. So actually you
I below
started,
35.
which again very rare also for someone today, very young, who just maybe started a career. But the first property investment that you would like to take on is a private property, which
Mm.
again most of many singles out there may not ever think of
even
this.
talk about it.
Yeah, because they thought, since I'm single, I wait till I get married, then I buy my first property with my partner,
Okay.
or maybe I wait till 35,
Yeah.
because that's how HDB works, right? You have to be 35 as a single to buy.
So
Mm.
before, were there any point of time that, before you met us, that someone or somehow you are triggered in thinking just about it, private property purchase below 35? Maybe there's a friend or someone that, introduced
Mm.
you, or just thought about it, or you
Yeah.
saw someone below 35 doing it and wonder whether can you do it.
Yeah. So actually, to tell you the truth, uh, I've never thought of that I will ever get a private property. I was one of those who say that, okay, if I don't get married by 35, I will look forward to getting my HDB. Even after 35, not married, because I didn't have a partner for the longest time.
Okay.
Yeah. So private property is uh, like a dream for me. I never thought that I will even own a private property. So to me, that private property is like the impossible dream. But I came to know in my mid 20s. I heard that a friend of mine, my age, uh, bought a condo.
Mm.
Then I'm like, wow, I'm here like working every day, and he has his own company lah actually. So I was thinking like, okay lah, because he maybe earn big bucks that's why he can own one. So it kind of reaffirmed to me that only someone who earn a lot of money, big pay like that can earn property. So again, it kind of reaffirmed that maybe I cannot lah, just be a dream lah. Right. Yeah. So but then I met a friend lah who taught me a little bit more about this whole process. Explained to me a few things and made me open my eyes to actually see that it's not an impossible dream about owning a property for yourself. Uh, uh, yeah. So and then this person also did a very good thing lah, which is to introduce me to Niza and Nizam. Yeah, yeah.
You
So
never
then
solicit
I
that
actually learned,
comment. Yeah.
yeah, I learned a lot more from you guys lah,
Mhm.
and kind of bust that myth lah, that someone like me cannot that I also can own my own private property. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
I mean,
So
what were you so that time when you realized that all the thing that we share with you bust all the previous perception of what you have, like you cannot own a private property, or maybe it's difficult because you have to earn a lot of money as a single to actually buy your first property. So at that moment, were you like, how long it takes you to prepare yourself to maybe pen down your first unit purchase?
Or
How long it
what was
takes?
the
Yeah.
challenge
Yeah. What was the
after
challenge?
we explain you the
Yeah.
process, the commitment,
uh,
what was the challenge at that point of time?
okay, now first one is definitely understanding it, because I'm someone, I won't commit to something if I don't understand something.
Mm.
So that was something that took some time, that needed a lot of explanation and re-explanation, because I don't quite understand all these things that well lah. But with your help, I was able to understand it properly. Then once I understand, I see the logic,
Mm.
and yeah. But of course, when I understand and I see the logic and I want it myself, then there comes the challenge lah, which is of course finances,
Mm.
right? That is tough to separate with the amount of savings that you already had for so long, thinking that okay, that's for the HDB that I wanted. So the 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 biggest challenge is finances, where I have to part with the big amount of savings,
Mm-hmm.
and also get some other sources of cash lah. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful that my younger self uh, had came actually did I oh Prof nak cakap ni. My younger self actually bought an insurance savings plan.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was very helpful at that moment where I wanted to buy this property. Yeah,
Mm.
so
Okay.
because that was have already pulling money for many years already. So I never knew what that could be used for, but eventually used for my private property, which was
So if
very
I
helpful.
can correlate your experience when in school, raising funds and all that, right? To raising fund to actually go on your yearly mountain climb.
Uh,
So similar, I see similar because of the fact that it is a struggle, definitely.
Mhm.
You need to, but the determination is there, and of course, it is backed by facts and statistics and figures. It's not something that
Mm.
emotion. Am I right? It's not an emotional
Mm.
decision, like you say, it's a logical
logical and
decision
yeah,
based on
Yeah.
facts and figures
yeah.
lah. That's important lah.
And importantly, you understood the system how to reach that goal, just like you
Mm.
apply to your mountaineering goal that you
Mm.
want to achieve Everest. I
Yeah.
think the same thing
Yeah.
you are
Ju-
able to
Okay,
apply
just
here in
just
your
to
property
let our
investing.
viewers know, to buy a new launch or private property for that matter, the first 5% component is always cash based on the purchase price lah. So you buy a $1 million property, for example, you need $50,000 cash as a down payment. So this is the challenge in a lot of us. So Yusrina had similar challenges, but I think she saw
Bigger
the
picture.
bigger picture, and end of the day managed to raise the fund, so that she can, because of the fact that when it comes to private property, the potential is in the mid to long term, there's a potential in terms of gain. So it's like a delayed gratification, like what you did with Everest. You started way back in view of one day climbing Everest. Similarly, I can correlate this with having a private property like as a single person, because yes, you are progressing in your career. Of course, you also have your needs and wants. You also have your daily expenses, monthly expenses, and at the same time, you are determined enough to ensure that you have enough for that property purchase. Similarly, like climbing Everest lah.
Yeah.
So, uh,
Because importantly, like for example, like Yusrina is just started her career, and then the loan to buying the property is okay, right? But actually, your challenges were the first 25%, because you
Mm.
have not built enough CPF, and
Mm.
thank God you actually have invested in some insurance, and you knew that this is the time when you unlock and then put it into the right asset at the
yeah,
right time.
correct.
Because
Mm.
at that
Yeah.
moment, where can you find a property that matches your affordability, right? It's not easy, right? Every
Yeah.
time
Not
to
easy.
find a property when you are ready, is there a property that can meet your affordability? It's always a challenge for
Yeah,
most people out there,
correct.
even where you're single or you're couple. There's
Yeah,
always something that you want, but you cannot really meet up to that.
yeah. Because affordability must come with opportunity. If
Yeah.
there's no
Mm.
opportunity you can afford, also there's no way you can buy anything. Or when there's
Mm.
opportunity you cannot afford, also there's no way you can actually buy something.
Yeah.
So it's all about timing. It's all about understanding the market.
Yeah.
So yes, like you climbing mountain, right? From base
Mm.
camp to camp one, come back and all,
Yeah.
it's asset progression. So Yusrina didn't straight away buy a 4 or 5 bedroom, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. No, I
Basically you
didn't.
started from the base camp, which is a 1 bedroom.
Yes, a
Yeah.
one
So
bedroom.
1 bedroom. So there's always the similarity in terms of mountain climbing and asset progression or buying a property in Singapore. You must start somewhere at the base camp, if
Yeah.
I may say so.
Mm.
So if you can't start, I mean, if you if you wait and wait and wait until you have enough, this base camp will shift, in terms of,
Yeah,
get
or
higher.
there will be tough
Mm.
Yeah,
weathers,
avalanche
and
and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
5 years,
yes.
and then you just go by.
Earthquake, earthquake. I mean, earthquake in relation to property, maybe the government come in with some policy that,
Cooling measures.
uh,
Mm.
your loan is so
Yeah.
much, you cannot get this much. So these are something that we can correlate. And,
or
and
even career disruptions or anything like that.
Yeah, and
But
like pandemic,
uh,
we never
mm,
even foresee that we're gonna be in a pandemic situation today. So
Mm.
imagine, I mean, just to share with audience out there, in this COVID situation, right? Prices of prices of property in Singapore actually went up. So on hindsight, did you directly benefit from this increase in property prices? Uh,
Me? Huh?
did you
What?
did you benefit because you bought way
I
before?
yeah,
bought much earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
The
now
prices
the
were a bit lower.
correct. So
mm,
now you see
Yeah.
there's, even on paper, you already have some potential gain, even without
Mm.
collecting the key. And one good thing with buying a new launch is what we call progressive payment.
mm.
Am I right?
Mm.
Progressive
I
payment.
think, yeah, I think that
How do
was
you understand
some.
progressive payment? Maybe you let the audience know.
Yeah,
Ah,
So I think that was something that I had to be reassured several times. Like, serious ah? Like I can afford paying for this unit like monthly
mm,
because the amount is affordable.
mm.
So I never thought that like paying off
Maybe you want to
for
say like
private prop.
affordable in what way, like per month kind of thing, like your
And so
progressive payment.
to can I give the exact amount that I'm paying
Yeah,
now?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so I'm paying like $100, 100 plus now,
Mm,
because it's a new launch, right? So,
mm,
so what I understand it is that I pay as according to the development of the
project.
condo lah that is
Yeah.
being, yeah, the project.
the building
Yeah, so
progress.
yeah, the building progress. So the closer it is to completion, the more I pay. So as I'm paying the lower amount now, I can still grow my CPF or
Built
grow
up lah.
my cash, build up so that when my payment will increase, I already have more to pay for. So I think it's something that the progressive payment is something that is something that I didn't know about at all, about paying for this private properties lah. So it makes it a lot more manageable, and yeah,
And I
even
believe
someone
it
like me
allows you
can
to
realize this
to to
dream.
plan.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it
because
does.
you know within the 3 to 6 months you need to make the next payment. If let's say
Yes.
the developer asks for the next progressive payment, so you're able to
Mm.
plan your finances and all that. But
Mm.
having said that, when you look at property prices increase, the new, especially the new launch, right? You, what do you feel? I'm paying for something that is, maybe I say I can in general lah. You paid for one bedroom below 650,000. Now a typical one bedroom is already 700 plus.
Yeah, even some 800.
Even some in other location 800. So you paying like 100 $200 a month. Can you see the benefit of
Entering early.
entering early, and early not only in terms of entry time, but also in terms of age? Because
Mm.
why? Are you able to take advantage when the market moves up, when you get the key? What are the options available? Simply like, can you stay? Can you also sell? Can
Or
you also
rent.
Mm.
rent?
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
so these are things that I think we share with you.
Mm.
And on paper, if it has increased by couple of 100,000, probably you have to make a decision in terms of whether to exit, cash out,
Mm.
and put your money into another asset that also has a potential, what we call asset progression lah. So probably
Mm.
from a one bedroom to a two bedroom or three, that kind of thing, so that the money will grow. Because having not collected your keys, you also see that prices increase.
Has increased. Yeah.
Your property also chances are there's a lot of gain already.
Appreciate. Yeah.
At the same time,
Mm.
you are not paying as much because your CPF still can grow. So a lot of
Mm.
pros
Yes.
rather than cons are in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also by entering early at a young age like you is basically most young, you don't have much commitment, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, like, of course
Uh-huh.
you have your other dreams, like you want to go for the next
Yeah. Yeah.
mountain or but you have done that, so it's now focused on your next dream. So actually, in fact,
Mm.
if you look at it, purchasing a private property, it looks like much simpler than climbing Everest, right?
If you
Because
say
Because
it's
so.
because why? You found the right Shipa. Is it called Shipa? Is it? Right.
right lah.
Sherpa,
Sherpa,
Sherpa.
Shipa,
Sherpa.
Sherpa. Yeah, this is the Sherpa. Correct or not? I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
How
correlating
does a
lah.
Sherpa look like?
Yeah lah.
Very
Good
still.
correlation.
Yeah.
Uh,
But really, I think this
yeah.
is something that we want to advocate, or we not say advocate. We want to make sure that, especially like our topic today, female, single, below 35, that there is, there is options for them, not just HDB. Nothing wrong with
Mm.
HDB, but there's always options for them, especially if they are in a stable industry. They have ample CPF and all that. Give yourself a chance to look at options available before you reach 35. Because why?
Mm.
Uh, as you are younger, you have more runway lah. In my opinion, you get what I mean? To do whatever it needs to be done, right? So, you got any question for her?
Yeah, basically, Yusrina, I think what we like about you is that because you already acclimatize, or I would say you already put yourself in very, how to say, unfamiliar situations many a times, like you're climbing mountains and all that. And property investment is also something very fearful for you, right? You definitely
Mm.
find what is this, like
Yeah.
why are you asking me
A
to
lot.
buy?
A lot of
My dream is
money.
HDB, why you ask me to buy private property lah? What is this? So I know don't be actually sit down with you many times to assure you that fear is okay. Importantly, you understand the process, and we took you step by step. So I think, is it true that you must have an open and positive mind first to be able
Yeah,
to
of
accept
course.
new things,
Yeah. I
right?
definitely I agree lah. Yeah, because if I have a closed mind back then, I would still be say, don't wanna. I think I just wait for HDB.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then going through the whole process, I see lots of pros like what Nizam said. Yeah, so
So that time when
mm,
we were talking to you about the pros and cons, we discussed this. Did you actually believe what we say? You find it logical? Do you find like okay, I think this is what I want? I mean, at that
yeah,
moment.
definitely.
Yeah.
So yes, the assurance took time, but yes, I am assured and I understand the process. But the push factor probably for me, like if I compare to HDB and a private property, is like what Nizam mentioned earlier, the gains that I can have even even without getting my key yet, and also uh, that the assurance that what I'm investing in, like if I were to sell back my unit, my property, I am not losing. I get back my cash and maybe uh, more lah
Yeah,
kan.
so that means you
Yeah.
actually understood the entry and also the exit strategy that we
Mm,
discussed with you. So you also
yeah.
know that should anything happen, there is an exit strategy that we have
Mm,
pre-planned for
Yeah,
you lah.
just to let the
Mm.
audience know, it's not a matter of just buying any property.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think we said so many times, we've heard in the cafe, I don't know, Coffee Bean lah, don't know where in Tampines. I think we've gone around Tampines.
Yeah, with a
Uh,
busy schedule, we
yeah,
actually
yeah.
try to
But
see.
importantly, we look at the right pricing, right entry price, and at the
mm,
same time, it's not something that you're over leveraging. Meaning
mm,
you are buying at your maximum. No, this is something. No, it's not about that. It's about making sure that right entry price, and then there's an exit strategy. Exit strategy means
mm,
like what Yusrina said. Now she see for herself that with the increase in prices of property in Singapore in general, she's able to take advantage. If let's say when the time she collect key, she make X amount of money, can she sell? Yes, she can. And then
mm,
reap the rewards, and then put back into something that is similar.
Or even upgrade to a two-bedroom, many
Yeah, so
times.
it's something that it's not about just terjun botol that people say. It's more like a lot of calculation of analysis, even to the unit. I believe even to the unit, we
The choice
also
unit, yeah.
make sure that it is the right choice in terms of numbers. That's important. I think it's not just emotion. Yeah, we are glad that you are very logical and you
Yeah.
ask thousands of questions, which is good. So important to people out there. If you have any questions, any queries, any doubts, I think Yusrina is a very good example for all women out there, especially that nothing is impossible when it comes to your personal goal and also your property goal. Because why? With the right training, with the right attitude,
Yeah.
with
Right
the right
attitude.
foresight, I tell you, important.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible. Similarly, with owning a property in Singapore, don't worry that I must pay cash and all that, because wow, important is you put into something that's growing. So
mm.
important. That's very important. Rather than I think at your age, chances are a lot of people will have those fancy bags and all that, right?
or,
Fancy
or,
bag,
or
fancy car.
regular travel trips, but now COVID lah,
Oh,
2 years cannot. But
manicure, pedicure, don't know what,
yes, yes,
everything,
yes.
which I mean, nothing wrong, I'm just saying, but important is just how
Putting the right
if yeah,
priorities and also disciplining
correct,
yourself, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Maybe you have some advice that you want to
yes,
give to
yeah,
all the women out there.
yeah,
I wouldn't, maybe because you're single that time. Okay, maybe you advise the single women first.
yeah, yeah. Okay, let's put this on record.
Uh,
What before you say that, right? Okay,
mm,
now if you were 5 years younger, what would
mm,
you have done when it comes to property? Like your friend, you say he was mid 20s and already have a private property. Let's say you
mm.
can turn back the clock a bit lah. What would you have done differently? And of course, and secondly, what is your advice to women out there, especially single and below 35? Should they wait for 35 to buy a flat, or find the right rich husband, or on the day, if cannot find, then buy
Yeah.
HDB. It's like sad story, right? You cannot find a husband is rich, you at 35 you buy HDB. I mean, it's like a sad story lah, but end of the day, what is your advice to this group of women?
Yeah, especially those who actually are having a good career and
Yeah,
knowing that they having a high income, right? But some of them do not actually take action due
yeah.
to maybe no knowledge or fear. What would be your advice to them?
Okay. So one thing first. What was I was thinking earlier was that if only I can, this thing is known to more younger ladies.
Mm.
You asked me to put myself back 5 years, right? Yeah. So I do think about it. Like if I were to have started planning, having that foresight and knowing all this knowledge way earlier, I probably would have done things differently lah. Um, because like what we highlighted, most people the challenge is that 25%. So work work on that, and because after understanding the whole thing, the whole system, right, and what I can benefit from it, that is my biggest challenge. So if I could have worked on that part, that would have made the process easier, maybe. I could have gotten a uni earlier. Yeah. So yeah. So it's my I guess my advice to other ladies is, if they have heard anything about this, get to know more, learn and understand the whole process, find the logic behind it, like how I did, and it becomes something that makes sense, and if it makes sense, and it can help you in your future, why not put some attention to it lah, and learn more about it. um yeah, but if let's say someone who is already earning, and they have a good pool of money or savings, uh I think waiting on HDB, uh I don't know, I still think they should learn more about this, because I'm someone who is now, how to say, I'm not a believer, what is it called, like
Cynic.
I am
A cynic.
I I used to be, yeah, but I believe now that
Yeah.
that this works lah. I
True,
mean,
true.
it will help me in my future lah, because yeah, that
I,
that you
I,
some
continue. Sorry.
yeah. So if someone knows about all these things, and you have the foresight, this will help you in your future. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we are not here to say that you must buy a private property, but more
Yes.
importantly, give yourself a chance. If you didn't give
Mm.
yourself a chance, you would never know.
Yes.
So
Yes. I think that's
Nizam
what
is
I.
always here to give
Yeah.
everybody out there a chance. No,
Yeah.
we are not here to sell you anything. It's all
Mm.
about understanding, like what Yusrina said, understanding the
And
process, the
finding out
pros and
more,
cons,
because some
Mm.
people
the
out
risk.
there do not even want to find out more. They
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
that it's just unachievable. Just like when you had your first disappointment in 2015, right? Your Mount Everest first attempt. You did not actually just sit down and then dwell on it. You decided to go for another round. So there are some
Mm.
people who actually in the first attempt of knowing about this, maybe, oh, not achievable, but they never plan for the next attempt.
Yeah.
So I think with whatever that you have gone through, this is actually still possible. It's still logical and possible, and you just need to give yourself that push to reach the summit, or
Yeah.
to reach your property dream in
True,
this
true.
case.
Because why?
Yeah.
Important. I'm 25 years old. But if you're already 40 plus, your runway is shorter. Am I right?
Yeah.
So the
Yes.
Yeah.
decision
Correct.
is different. When you have
Yeah.
responsibility, it's different. So what I'm trying to
That's
say
right.
is age also plays a part. So
Yeah.
give yourself a
Definitely.
chance. Ladies out there who's below 35,
Yes.
give yourself a
Give
chance. It's
yourself a
not about
chance.
us, it's about you. You must have the courage to change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Important.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh,
I think this
Yeah.
whole process took a lot of courage. Like
yes.
I said, took a lot of courage to jump into. No, okay, I didn't jump into it. Lah. Took a lot of courage to agree on such things. Lah. It's one of the biggest thing I've done in my life, lah, other than Everest.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, to
True.
part ways with the money that I've saved so much. So
Did you
that
cry
is
after that? Huh? Like you
just
put the money, oh, I
courageous.
cry.
Huh?
Did you cry?
Like if, especially the savings and then the CPF, like, oh ma, zero.
Yeah, but you keep
Yeah.
on working hard
But
for it, right?
I know what's the benefits that I will get
There's
in the
this
long
there's
run.
this term we always use. It's not about immediate gratification. It's about
Mm.
delayed gratification.
Delayed
So
gratification.
it's something that we really admire you for what you have done, both Everest and your first property investment. Uh, Nizam would like to thank you very much for your time. Wow, we took like 1 hour of your time. So
Yeah,
sorry.
still not
Okay.
enough. Still a
Yeah,
lot of questions
yeah.
to ask.
But
Never mind.
I hope this sharing has benefited us
Yes.
definitely, and of course people out there.
Mm.
Hopefully those who have not liked and shared the video, please do so. Subscribe to Nizam.
Yeah,
so that
be
you can
inspired, yeah,
be inspired like what Niza say from the sharing of Yusrina. Important. So Yusrina, before you go, I want to do this.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
One more
thank you.
time. One more time. Sorry, I've been wanting to do that lah. So sorry, but yeah.
Okay.
the opportunity to do it.
Trying to new system. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Yusrina, for your time.
Okay, thank
I
you so
hope
much.
don't worry, we'll still be around in your property journey. So inshallah, we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you so
Okay.
much again for your time.
Thank you.
We'll see you
And all the
around.
best to you.
Thank you so much.
Yusrina.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Wow.
Mm.
That was
Not bad. Now I cannot sleep. No, I'm thinking about Everest.
okay about it. Okay,
Okay,
guys.
guys.
Right.
We have actually
overran
our show.
It's
It's
okay.
okay. It was a very good sharing by our guests.
So
So
next
next
to
to
Nizam
Nizam
always
always
will
will
find
find
good
good
sharing
sharing
people out there
that can inspire not only us but you yourself out there. Of course, if you have any question with regards to whatever we talk about, and if you want to get in touch
with us, of course,
you can always contact us at 96704504 or just scan the QR code. Find us in Facebook, IG or YouTube. Just type Nizam. You'll N-E-E-Z-A-N-I-Z-A-M. Okay. I got one last thing to say. You have anything to say?
I mean, like they
They can actually find us in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, you just type Nizam. You see all the various areas. What?
I just
I
want
just
to
want to
have
have
some
some not so good news
for the single men out there who
saw our video
shared,
who watched this video or recorded online.
as
We speak, Yusrina is taken.
So
So she's married quite recently, and we're so happy for her. So see, achievement. Things happen for a reason. As long as you know what you get yourself into, and ensure that you understand the whole process.
Yeah,
Actually, Nizam, talking about that, right? A lot of people, maybe 10 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago, a lot of people say, oh, I want to get married first. I plan for my marriage, then I buy the property. But today, I think most of us are very well informed of the property market and the chances and the benefits of staying invested first. So a lot more are actually buying property first and then they get married.
Yeah.
They never plan to get married, but eventually they get married after they have their first property.
Okay.
So it's a different kind of
So,
we are very honored that you have sat through. If you have sat through the whole talk, and we look forward to seeing you in our next. Such a cliche. Next to Nizam live FB show next week. Same time, same channel, same platform. So with that, Nizam Adli.
And I'm Niza Ali.
Good
Good
night.
night.